Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Michael Meier. I'm here with Baylee Koopman. Baylee is the Director of Property and Asset Management. She handles so much at Fergmar. We always joke about what should her title really be, or at least I joke about it because she does so many things there. Thank you for joining us, Baylee.
Thank you for having
Um,
me.
my pleasure. Appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about today the Grove. You could see behind us, looking at the building from a few different angles. This is a 10-acre property, 288 units. It is super exciting for several reasons that we're about to dive into. Before I jump in, Baylee, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? What you do at Fergmar?
Yeah, so I've been here with the company for about 5 years. I work in the Director of Property Management and Asset Management role. So that's anywhere from overseeing our vertically integrated property management company, from our kind of financial performance at the asset level, with overall net income, deal analysis, and financial projections.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to dive in specifically and talk a little bit about management at Fergmar and how it's going to relate to the Grove. So tell us a little bit about your experience in managing properties. How many properties do you guys have? And we'll dive into like one topic where we can educate people a little bit about property management. Like maybe let's talk about like the first 30 days of taking over a property.
Okay, perfect. So specifically, we have about a little over 1,000 units here in Victoria, Texas. That ranges anywhere from your kind of class B to a lower class or A, 134 unit apartment complexes. So we have a wide local footprint here in our hometown. The Grove, which is 288 units, is right across the street from our corporate office. So we're extremely excited about that. And we recently took over an acquisition here in Victoria, which was 134 units. Kind of diving into that first 30 days, I feel outside of our very strategic deal analysis before taking over, that the first 30 to 45 days is the most crucial part of taking over a project. And the reason for that is that it's all about guiding that resident experience, which causes long-term impact for the asset alone. So in that first 30 days, we're really dialing in on, what is it about these residents that make them want to stay, and what were they not receiving on the operational inefficiencies, which, kind of acquired us or required us to take over the property in itself from the operational side. So we're really just looking at what is the most efficient way that we can have residents pay. What's the easiest way to make sure that residents are comfortable and happy in the home. I think that something that is easy to forget is that this is their home. We're coming in and we're doing all these, CapEx projects, and we're making the property look beautiful, but how are the residents feeling? And it can sound so minute, but it really does make an impact when you get to the conversations about whether or not a tenant is going to stay and renew with you. So our acquisition of the Post, we had our call this morning, our weekly stabilization call with our regional community manager, construction team, and our partners. And one thing that the community manager was able to highlight was the fact that we've successfully, in the first 60 days, kept all residents except for two. And that doesn't include any residents that needed to go in regard to non-payment. We work and we're very diligent in all of that. But what it did kind of highlight is just our success in really caring for the residents. And that was anywhere from, the takeover bag or welcome bag on the door on the first day of takeover, how we treat them at our day two welcome event, how we're talking to them throughout the week on taking care of deferred maintenance work orders, what's not working, what is working, what do you like, what do you not like, and then all the conversations up to day 30 to 45 when we really start strategically talking about like what can we offer them in terms of renewal and why would they want to stay. After that first 30 to 45 days, we start really showing them about what we can do for the property. And that's when we start making the buildings look beautiful by painting them, replacing, rotten wood, replacing stairwells, redoing the pool, expanding the fitness center like we're going to do here at the Grove, adding a dog park. So I think all of those things in combination really guide that resident experience. And it is the most important part of us being successful, because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, terrific. And just to dive in a little bit, so this property that we're talking about here is called the Post. It was originally called Tanglewood when we took over it. And for those who get my investor updates, I try to include every few weeks about what's being done to the property to enhance the property, so you get an idea of how we're massaging this property and enhancing how it looks and feels. One of the things that I did, and you were there, we went to go talk to one of the on-site staff people, and I was asking them what are the residents saying at the property at the Post. And they said, well, one of the things that they were saying is that for so long they were putting in these maintenance requests, things weren't working, they were broken, and nobody did anything about it. And now all of a sudden we're coming in and it's being handled and they love it. So one of the big things on this call that we had this morning was, and you could just dive into this a little quickly, about the fact that only in the last 60 days, only 2 residents have actually moved out. And that were moved out for a reason. One went for a house. So tell us a little bit about why that's important.
Yeah, I just feel like it's extremely important to know that you're valued in regard to, where you're living in your home. People lease with us because they're looking for community, they're looking for experience, and they're looking for satisfaction and just the overall product that we're providing. And when we check all of those boxes in the first 30 to 45 days of takeover, it speaks, volumes to who we are on the operational side. And like I said, that's all about just ensuring that the resident experience is easy, simple, it's not complicated. How you put in a work order doesn't take 45 minutes. You can call the front office when you need something. And just really our kind of boots on the ground on-site team does very well in that.
And to translate to financial speak, if you looked at the quarterly update that was just sent out a few days ago, we were under budget and we were more profitable than they thought we were going to be at this point at the post. And again, a lot of this has to do with, if tenants stay, you don't have vacant apartments. And if you don't have vacant apartments, you're making money. When tenants move out, you're not making money on those apartments till you have to turn them. And sometimes you have to turn them, but having only 2 people moving out in 60 days is a wonderful, wonderful thing. One more thing just to ask you about the Grove itself is, I know you like the fact it's across the street from our office. I mean, it's fantastic. Tell us about, there's so many things that we've talked about that we like about this, but what about the size of the building? How does that help us?
Yeah, I think outside of the property being locally positioned, one of my favorite things is more of the modern floor plans. So we're a little ahead of our time on a 1982 build where the property is actually able to provide split floor plans. So that split floor plan is really desirable and something that we don't have in our current portfolio that we're extremely excited to bring on. And how we can kind of position ourselves in the market. Your 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom floor plan has a split primary room. Your 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom floor plan has split rooms across the floor plan. So I think that that's going to be extremely desirable for the community here in Victoria, where you don't find that very often in an affordable property like this, where we're able to kind of position ourselves in the market very well.
Yeah, terrific. I know we've also discussed, and some of the values also in having a larger building is also economies of scale. So when we're buying a 104 unit building versus buying a 288 unit building, just everything across the board, from the relationships you have with the vendors to the pricing that you can get, just makes it that much makes it that much stronger.
Yeah, and I mean, the economy of scale really just speaks to our local footprint. I mean, we have 20 years of operational experience here in Victoria, where we've worked with almost every vendor, so being able to apply on a just overall basis of the amount of units that we have in Victoria, and then kind of scaling that with vendor relations that we've developed and continue to develop, continue to take care of, is extremely important. So, we see anywhere from a 6 to 10% savings across like larger capital expenditures, other than an outside operator, because of our local footprint. So it's really exciting that we're able to kind of say, hey, go to our vendors, we're bringing on another property, what can you do for us? We're having, corporate office meetings, we're walking them on site at the unit and driving 2 minutes across the street to meet them. It's been really exciting. The due diligence experience has probably been one of my favorites.
You think you're going to drive or you're going to walk?
Yeah, maybe I should walk.
All right. Well, Baylee, thanks so much for joining me in this quick little video over here. I think it was really informative, so thanks for taking the time. And thank you everybody for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about the Grove, we believe it's going to be a phenomenal investment. If you'd like to learn more about investing, with me, with Fergmar together, this is something we're super excited about. So reach out to me. Information will be below, and talk to you all soon.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.